Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for visiting the YouTube channel for bestbiblecommentaries.com. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 new releases in Bible commentaries. Before I do that, I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you like seeing videos on biblical studies resources. Please consider clicking the like button, as that helps me out on YouTube, and feel free to leave a comment or ask a question down below. These 6 commentaries have been released from the last few weeks till the last few months. I think all of them are out. There might be 1 or 2 that are going to be out soon. Sometimes I get new releases, but I think that most of these are now out as of the making of this video. So there's some different series that I'm going to show you, and of course it's too early to have academic reviews on brand new releases, but I think there's benefits in just showing you what's out there in case you want to consider it. All right, the first one comes from the Reform Commentary on Scripture series. It's the Reformation Commentary on Scripture series, and it's the Matthew volume that is now out. So some of you might recognize the cover design, not in the green, but in the black version of this cover design is the Ancient Christian Commentary series that's very well reviewed. And this series is very similar approach, very similar format, except it's from the time of the Reformation. So if you're not familiar with this series, what the editors do is they compile quotations from well-known theologians, pastors, and teachers of Scripture, and they compile those together for the commentary. So there's no commentary in the sense that there's explanation from today. It's all quotations from the time period. In this case, it's the Reformation era. So I'll just turn here to Matthew 17, verses 14 through 27. And the title of the passage, of the biblical passage, is The Demoniac and the Need for Faith. So throughout the section of explanation, it's just quotations from different theologians, pastors, and teachers from the Reformation era. And it's the same is true with any passage you turn to. You're going to find quotations on that passage of Scripture from the Reformation era. So the Ancient Christian Commentary series is all quotations from the early church fathers, and in this series it's all quotations from the era of the Protestant Reformation. So you're going to find Luther and Calvin and Zwingli and other names, many other names as well in this commentary series. So now the Matthew volume is out. I believe it just came. I think it's published. I think it's available right now. But it's possible it could be coming out in the next few weeks or in the next month. This new volume is from a newer series from Kriegel Publications, and I believe you pronounce the name of it Keru. If you see here, in English it's Kerux. And this volume is on the Psalms, and it's the first volume. So there's going to be multiple volumes on the Psalms. W. Creighton Marlowe and Charles H. Seville Jr. Seville, I think that's how you say that. I'm not familiar with the authors, but and I haven't spent a lot of time with this volume. I actually just got this volume literally 2 days ago in the mail, so I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I wanted to show it to you. So Creighton Marlowe has taught Hebrew and Old Testament exegesis for more than 30 years in Europe, and he's currently Associate Professor of Old Testament at the Evangelical Theology faculty in Belgium. He's also the missionary theological educator with European Christian Mission in North America. Charles Seville got his PhD at Dallas Theological Seminary. He's adjunct faculty at Dallas Theological Seminary and Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. He's also taught at several other institutions in the U.S. and in the Philippines, Korea, and Hungary. He serves in ordained ministry and is deeply committed to the work of the church in preaching and teaching and helping others do the same. So this is, I think for a lot of these series, I think there's 2 authors. I think one handles the exegesis and one handles the homiletics. So there's a combination of explanation of the text with with here's a good example of preaching idea and preaching pointers. So there's an exegetical and theological explanation combined with tips and hints and suggestions for how to preach the text. So, of course, in this case, you're just looking up Psalm chapter by chapter and reading the explanations and considering these suggestions for applications and relevancy. So this is, I think maybe there's like 4 or 5 volumes in this series so far. I'm not real familiar with it, but I look forward to getting to know it better. All right, the next one is, I think it's an October, it was an October release, maybe it was a November release, but David Garland, which if you follow the world of Bible commentaries, he's written several very well-reviewed books. He's at Baylor, I think, if I remember correctly. He's professor of Christian scriptures at Truett Theological Seminary, Baylor University. Yes. So he's written other commentaries on Matthew, Mark, Luke, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Colossians, Philemon, and Philippians. His commentaries are very well reviewed. And the IVP, who is the publisher, decided to replace the Romans volume in the TNTC series with this new David Garland edition. So like the publisher is doing with this series, volumes continue to cycle in and out. And so now there is a new release. It could mean, if you've seen my previous videos on some ideas on how to save money on Bible commentaries, it's possible that the Romans volume that Garland is replacing could go up in price, so I might just want to check the used market for that, and if you're interested in already getting that, you might want to secure a copy before it goes up. It's no guarantee, of course, but sometimes that does happen. So there's David Garland in the IVP. This one I might have briefly shown on a at the end of a video a few months ago when I got it on when I was just showing some new releases. I can't remember if I showed it, so I thought I'll just show it again. This is Hosea in the ZECOT series, Ondervan Exegetical Commentary on the Old Testament series. Now, a lot of the New Testament volumes are out and they're extremely well reviewed, and the Old Testament volumes continue to come out. So a few came out in 2021, there's more scheduled for 2022. And Hosea volume is one that came out at the end of 2021. And so I expect these to be very well reviewed when the academic journals catch up with these new releases. Jerry Huang is Academic Dean and Associate Professor of Old Testament, Singapore Bible College. So this series has a fantastic layout. This is one of my favorite layouts of any commentary series. And there's always great benefit in preaching and teaching the minor prophets today. So for your consideration, Hosea in the ZECOT series. Another replacement volume that IVP has put out, I think this came out I think it came out in October, in the TOTC series, is the Isaiah volume by Paul Wegner. Paul Wegner is Distinguished Professor of Old Testament at Gateway Seminary, Ontario, California, with a specialty in the study of Isaiah. He previously taught at Phoenix Seminary and Moody Bible Institute. Tripert Logman is editor of the series, so many will recognize that name. So I would call this series, Wegner and Garland, by the way, I'd call them mid-level commentaries, introductory to mid-level. I think lay people would do okay with it. But it might just take them a little bit longer to read. But if you're not familiar with the series, it's a very well-reviewed series. And we have a Revelation volume from the Belief series. This is from John Knox Westminster Press. Amos Young is at Fuller, I believe. Yes, he's Chief Academic Officer, Dean of the School of Mission and Theology, and Professor of Theology and Mission at Fuller Theological Seminary. So the Belief series has been around for a little while, but it's not completed yet, and volumes to continue to come out. I would call it a mid-level series. Again, I very, very recently got this book, so I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I'm not even sure what his eschatological position is. If you know it, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. The target audience, though, is pastors for this series, and John Knox Westminster Press puts out other series that you might be more familiar with than this Belief series. So the Old Testament Library and the New Testament Library series, that's John Knox Westminster Press, as well as the Interpretation series for preaching and teaching. So Belief is one of their newer series, and the subtitle tells the purpose, a theological commentary on the Bible. But even as a theological commentary, I'd still say the target audience is pastors. Lay people, I think, would do okay with this series. Professors, maybe, depends on what their purpose for it is. There's going to be more exegetical depth in other commentaries on Revelation, but for those who are using commentaries for ministry purposes, this would be a consideration. All right, so at the end of the year, at the end of 2021, I'm making this video in November 2021, but at the end of the year 2021, I'm going to do a full recap of commentaries that came out in the year. So I'll mention these briefly again, but just look forward in about a month or so, I'll do an entire recap on publications from 2021. I'll also do a video on publications, commentaries that are scheduled to come out in 2022. So you can look for those videos in about a month or so. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.